Money Coming is a three-reel, one payline slot from Jiley Games. It does not look like most modern slots. There are no scatter pays, no cascades, no cluster mechanic, no free spins feature in the traditional sense. What it has is a number-based payout system that is completely unique, and a fourth special reel that activates after every winning spin and determines what happens next. The three main reels display numbers, specifically 0, 00, 1, 5, and 10. When 2 or 3 of these land on the single pay line in a winning combination, the payout is determined by the actual numerical value formed by those numbers reading left to right. A 5 on reel 1 and 00 on reel 2 produces a win of 500 times your bet. A 10 on reel 1, 0 on reel 2, and 0 on reel 3 produces 1,000 times your bet. The number combination is the payout. It is one of the most intuitive and satisfying payout systems in any slot. You can read your win off the reels without needing to check a payable. Every time your three main reels produce a winning combination, the fourth special reel activates. This reel spins independently and determines what modifier is applied to your win. There are 3 possible outcomes on the fourth reel, and understanding all 3 is the foundation of playing Money Coming intelligently. The first outcome is a multiplier. The fourth reel can land a 2 times, 5 times, or 10 times multiplier symbol. When it does, your base win from the main reels is multiplied by that value immediately. A 50 times base win with a 5 times multiplier landing on the fourth reel becomes a 250 times total win on that spin. The 2 times and 5 times multipliers are available at all bet levels. The 10 times multiplier is locked behind a minimum bet threshold. You need to be betting at least 10 units per spin for the 10 times to appear in the fourth reel pool at all. Below that threshold, it simply does not exist as a possible outcome, which means you are permanently capped at a 5 times multiplier no matter how well the main reels perform. The second outcome is a respin. The fourth reel lands a respin symbol, and all 3 main reels spin again at no additional cost. The respin is a second chance. Whatever the main reels produce on the respin is your new result. There is no guarantee of improvement and no guarantee of anything at all. You might spin from a modest win into a larger one, or from a win into nothing. The respin is available at all bet levels and is the most frequently appearing fourth reel outcome across a typical session. The third outcome is the scatter. This is the one everyone is here for. When the scatter lands on the fourth reel alongside a winning main reel combination, the lucky wheel bonus triggers. This is the game's signature feature, and when it fires, it is guaranteed to pay something. Every lucky wheel spin produces a prize without exception. The wheel sits above and to the left of the reels, visible during the entire session, and its prize values are directly tied to your current bet level. The lucky wheel bonus, how it works and how to trigger it faster. The lucky wheel is the bonus everyone chases in Money Coming, and getting it to trigger comes down to 2 things: landing a winning combination on the main reels and landing the scatter on the fourth reel simultaneously. You cannot trigger the lucky wheel without first winning on the main reels. The fourth reel only activates after a win, so no base win means no fourth reel. Spin means no lucky wheel chance. This is the single most important mechanical fact about the game, and one that many new players do not immediately understand. The lucky wheel itself is a fortune wheel with multiple prize segments. At the minimum eligible bet level of 5 units per spin, the wheel pays prizes ranging from 5 times up to 200 times your bet. Every tier above that minimum unlocks enhanced wheel values. At 10 units, the multiplier pool expands. At 50 units, the wheel values climb significantly higher, and the maximum wheel configuration, with prizes ranging up to 10,000 times your stake, requires playing at the highest available bet tier. This is not a minor difference. The gap between a 200 times top prize on the lucky wheel at minimum stakes and a 10,000 times top prize at maximum stakes is the difference between a decent session moment and a genuinely life-changing spin. Below 5 units per spin, the lucky wheel does not exist. The scatter symbol is removed from the fourth reel's possible outcomes entirely. You can still win from the main reels and still get multipliers and respins from the fourth reel. But the bonus wheel, the game's headline feature, is not accessible at all. This is the most critical bet level threshold in the entire game. The bet level system, what unlocks? At each tier, Money Coming has one of the most bet-level dependent feature systems of any slot currently available. What you can access in any given session is directly determined by how much you are betting per spin, and understanding the tiers before you play changes how you approach the game entirely. At below 5 units per spin, the lowest possible stakes, you receive the standard 3 real wins, 4th reel multipliers of 2 times and 5 times, and respins. The Lucky Wheel does not exist at this level. This is the pure base game experience with no bonus access whatsoever. At 5 units per spin, the entry Lucky Wheel tier, the scatter symbol appears in the 4th reel pool for the first time. When it lands alongside a main reel win, the Lucky Wheel fires with prize values from 5 times to 200 times. The 97% RTP kicks in fully at this level for the first time, which is why playing below this threshold delivers a less favorable mathematical experience than the headline figure suggests. At 10 units per spin, the 10 times multiplier is added to the 4th reel pool, alongside the existing 2 times and 5 times. This is a meaningful unlock, because a 10 times multiplier on a strong main reel combination can produce a result significantly above anything the 5 times ceiling allows. The Lucky Wheel values also see their first upgrade at this level. At 50 units per spin, the Lucky Wheel prize structure upgrades substantially. The top prize on the wheel climbs to levels well above what the 5 and 10 unit tiers offer, and the mid-tier prize values across the wheel segments increase proportionally. At the maximum available bet, which varies by casino but typically sits at the highest denomination the platform supports, the full 10,000 times Lucky Wheel configuration is active. Every segment on the wheel is at its maximum value, and the 97% RTP is fully expressed at this level. How to get the bonus fast. The strategies. Now let us get into what this video is actually about. Here are the strategies and approaches that experienced Money Coming players use to trigger the Lucky Wheel more frequently and get more out of every session. The first and most important is playing at the minimum Lucky Wheel tier or above. This sounds obvious, but it is the foundation of everything. If you are playing below 5 units per spin, you are locked out of the Lucky Wheel entirely. No strategy in the world compensates for that. The very first thing you do before any spin in Money Coming is confirm your bet is at or above the 5 unit threshold. This is non-negotiable if your goal is bonus frequency. The second strategy is understanding that the Lucky Wheel can only trigger when you have a main reel win first. The 4th reel does not spin on losing main reel combinations. This means the path to a fast Lucky Wheel trigger is spin, win on the main reels, hope the 4th reel lands, scatter. You cannot shortcut the main reel win requirement. What you can do is play at a stake level where main reel wins occur at meaningful frequency. And at medium volatility, Money Coming produces wins relatively regularly compared to high volatility games. The session rhythm here supports bonus hunting better than a high volatility title would. The third strategy is session bankroll planning based on spin count. Divide your total session budget by a minimum of 150 spins at your chosen bet level. If you have 100 euros for a session and you want to play at 10 units per spin, that is 1,000 spins available, well above the minimum. If your budget gives you fewer than 100 spins at a given bet level, that level is too high for your session budget and you need to drop down 1 tier. The Lucky Wheel triggers on the 4th reel after main reel wins. You need enough spins in the session to produce a meaningful number of winning combinations and enough 4th reel spins for the scatter to appear naturally. A session that burns out in 30 spins has not given the 4th reel enough activation opportunities for the Lucky Wheel to show itself. The fourth strategy is staying at your bet level through cold streaks. This is the hardest discipline in Money Coming. When the main reels are not producing wins and the 4th reel has not activated in what feels like too long, the temptation is to drop your bet level to conserve budget. Dropping below the Lucky Wheel threshold is the specific mistake to avoid, because the spin that finally produces a main reel win and a 4th reel. Scatter activation will now find the Lucky Wheel feature locked. You waited out the cold streak only to be ineligible for the bonus when it would have fired. Decide your bet level before you start and hold it across the whole session. The fifth strategy is the respin opportunity. When the fourth reel lands a respin symbol after a win, you get a free spin on the main reels. Treat every respin as a bonus fourth reel activation. After the respin, the fourth reel spins again. If the respin produces another win, you have another fourth reel chance. If that fourth reel lands scatter, the lucky wheel fires. Respin chains, where a respin produces a win, which produces another fourth reel spin, are one of the most effective natural paths to a lucky wheel trigger, and they happen more frequently in a real session than most first-time players expect. The sixth strategy is the multiplier approach for base game value. If your budget does not comfortably support the 50-unit tier, but you still want meaningful multiplier access, the 10-unit tier unlocks the 10 times multiplier on the fourth reel. A main reel combination of moderate value, say a 2 or 3 digit number forming a 50 times or 100 times base win, multiplied by 10 times on the fourth reel, produces a 500 times or 1,000 times total win from a single spin without needing the lucky wheel to fire at all. The 10 times multiplier at 10 units per spin is the best single mechanical unlock in the entire game for players who want strong non-wheel wins at a sustainable stake. The seventh strategy is knowing when a lucky wheel spin is likely to be most valuable. At the 5-unit tier, the top prize is 200 times. At 50 units, the top prize is dramatically higher. If you trigger the lucky wheel at 5 units per spin and win 200 times, that is 1,000 units. Meaningful, but not session-defining. The same lucky wheel trigger at 50 units with a top segment outcome is 50 times more valuable. The lucky wheel prize values scale linearly with your bet. This is not a reason to always play at maximum stakes. Your budget determines your bet level, full stop. But it is a reason to be strategic about when you push to a higher tier if your session is going well and your bankroll is comfortable.